Okay, I hope you can hear me. Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about data gathering systems engineering, which is basically the foundation of building any good system. So here's the thing. If you don't understand what problem you're actually trying to solve, how can you possibly build something that works? There's this phrase we use garbage in, garbage out. It means if you collect bad information or skip this step entirely, you're going to build the wrong thing. Imagine designing a whole new inventory system and then finding out you completely misunderstood how people actually do their jobs. That's months of wasted work and a lot of frustrated users. The key is gathering quality data upfront. This means talking to people, watching how they work, looking at existing records, really understanding the current situation before you start designing anything new. It might feel like you're slowing things down, but trust me, this step saves so much money and time later. When you have a good idea, you make smart design choices. When you have bad data or no data, you're basically guessing. That's how systems fail. So, data gathering isn't just a checkbox to tick off, it's literally what determines whether your project succeeds or fails. All right, so there are four main methods you'll use, and they fall into two categories: interactive and obtrusive. Let me break these down. First, interviews. This is where you sit down one on one with stakeholders, managers, employees, whoever uses the system, and have structured conversations. The advantage here is that you can ask follow up questions and really dig into issues. Someone might mention, oh yeah, we just ignore that error message because it's always wrong, and boom, you found a major problem. The downside? Interviews are time consuming. You might spend an hour with one person, you can't interview everyone. But for understanding complex situations and getting to the why behind problems, interviews are invaluable. Second, questionnaires or surveys. Where interviews give you depth, questionnaires give you breadth. You can spend a survey to 200 people and collect data quickly. This is perfect for spotting patterns. Now, the obtrusive methods. Third is document analysis, going through existing records like error logs, performance reports, user manuals, whatever documentation exists. The beauty here is objectivity. Numbers don't lie. If the logs show the system crashes every Tuesday, that's concrete evidence. Plus, you are not interpreting anyone's work. The downside is that documentation might be outdated or incomplete and it won't show you those unofficial workarounds people create. But for baseline metrics and historical trends, it's essential. Fourth is observation, actually watching people use the system in their real work environment. This is powerful because what people say they do and what they actually do are often different. You might see someone struggling with a confusing interface or using a workaround they never mentioned in their interview. The challenge is people sometimes change their behavior when they know they are being watched, and observation is time intensive. But for understanding real workflows, there's no substitute. Okay. Let me give you a concrete example of how this works in practice. Say you're analyzing the inventory system for a supermarket chain that's having problems with overstocking and shortages. Here's how you'd approach it. You'd start with interviews, talking to managers and inventory supervisors to understand their perspective on what's going wrong. Maybe they tell you reordered alerts don't work properly, then you send questionnaires to employees at all store locations to see if this problem exists everywhere or just in certain stores. Maybe you discover it's worse in stores with newer staff. Next, you dive into document analysis, looking at inventory reports, error logs, and financial records. The numbers might show you that these problems cost the company thousands in spoiled products and lost sales. You can quantify the impact. Finally, you observe employees actually using the system during receiving and stocking. You might see that the interface is so confusing that people bypass it entirely or track things on paper instead. By combining all four methods, you build a complete picture. You know what's broken, why it's broken, who it's affecting, and how much it's costing. That comprehensive understanding is what led your system a solution that actually fixes the real problems instead of just symptoms. So, here are your key takeaways. First, always start with a plan. Know what the questions you're trying to answer before you start gathering data. Second, combine multiple methods because they uh, complement each other and cover each other's weaknesses. And third, remember that quality data leads to quality systems. The time you invest in really understanding the problem front will pay off with a solution that actually works. Thanks for listening.